Who built this place? I mean, really, who built this? This is huge. Why would you build this? Hello and welcome. It is Friday. It's 10:30. It's the 25th day of February 2022. Ragnarok. It is 55 degrees and sunny with a cold nor'easter biting its way through Ventura, California. I am your guide to all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, sports, and general internet nonsense. It's Friday. It's time for this week's DM tip, which is kind of sort of two DM tips in one. But of course, remember, before I start, when it comes to DM tips, I'm not right. I'm not wrong, but I'm not right. Don't listen to me. If there's one bit of advice I could give you that you actually pay attention to out of all the advice I might give you, it's don't listen to my advice. Do whatever works for you. No matter what anybody else says. If you're having fun and your players are having fun, that's all that matters. And you're not doing anything wrong. And anybody who says you're doing it wrong is a fucking mark and can shut up. Play the game your way. Okay? There's no right way. That said, here's some DM tips which you can pay attention to or ignore. And as always, if you have criticism about my DM's tips, remember, these are my ideas and my stuff. You don't have to pay attention to them all. I'm always open to constructive criticism, but if you're just going to post attacks and deconstructive criticism, I'm just going to thank you for the hate clicks and tell you you're your mark. All right, so today we are talking about two things in one, sort of, and that's if you build it, they may come / start things off fast. So let's go with start things off fast. Once session 0 is done and over with, every other game should not be allowed to bog down into 2 hours of shopping, especially at the beginning. You want to start things off fast. You want to grab their attention and keep it attention. Because if you go into the game and the game starts and everybody's just bogging down for an hour or two, that sense of disbelief, that sense of connection to what's ever going on is kind of shattered. And once it's shattered, it's hard to get back in. You know, if you say you're going to start the game at 2 in the afternoon and everybody sits down at 2, by 2:15, 2:20, once you get the, initial hi, how you doing, greetings, social contract stuff done, you kind of want to get the game going. If by 4:30 you haven't really started gaming because you've just been dithering and, somebody's looking for a hireling and somebody's like, oh, I forgot to get a crowbar, then it just it's just, I can't even talk. It's just counterproductive. You want a story to start off strong, and then if you need to have downtime, you provide it. And there's also room for breaks. And if everybody wants to talk about their life, then you say, if you guys want to catch up, have bullshitting, talk about non-gaming stuff, show up at 1:30, 1:45. We'll talk about, life for 20 minutes, but I want to start the game at 2:30 because, I've only got so much time. And I want to get you guys rolling. Start the things off with an action scene. Look at almost every movie. It's the first 10 minutes is to grab you, to grab the audience. It needs to grab the audience. Let's look at Star Wars. Music, scrolling words, explaining what's generally going on. You got a general feeling, and then bam, spaceship battle. Right there. First 10 minutes, you're grabbed. You got a general understanding what's going on. We get action. We get Vader. We're introduced to our hero. We're introduced to our villain. Blah, blah, blah. Blasters. Wait, why are the bad guys wearing white? Blah, blah, blah. Bam. 10 minutes. Then we have the exposition, the explanation, and then we meet Han Solo, and bam, we're grabbed again. More action, more adventure, nonstop. Da, 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 da. Then we have our exposition. We have our talking. We have our character pillars of interaction, Luke and Leia moaning the death of Ben, the meeting where they're talking about how we're going to blow up the Death Star, and then bam, it ends on action, and then bam, it ends on the da-da-da-da, getting the rewards, but Vader got away. I mean, that's a perfect story in 2-3 hours right there. Bam. Start off with action, then exposition, then if they want to shop or, if they need to dither, if they want to, I forgot to, fine, give them time to do that. But if you really need to do that stuff, and you save the game starting at 3, start the game by 3:30. Okay? So that's sort of the first tip. And the second tip is, if you build it, they might not come. So I was thinking about this last night because we're going into Mega Dungeon / Mega Power March, which means if I'm going to talk about Mega Dungeons, of course I'm going to talk about Undermountain. Undermountain makes no sense, and because it's like putting a jail and an active volcano and a zoo underneath New York, and then assuming nobody in New York notices or wants anything done about it. And then I was thinking about like art galleries, like because I was reading some module and there was an art gallery in it, and the guy went to all the trouble of describing every painting and its history, and I'm like, well, what if they don't go there? You spent all this time building something, but what if they never go there? What if they never show interest in that? You really need to let your players guide what they're interested in. And if they're slowing down and showing no interest in anything, and having those, I don't know, what do you want to do moments, well, then you want to give them something to do because you don't want them to sit around and kill your NPCs. But that's when you can drop the things in. But, if you waste 3 days building an art gallery and they never go there, you're going to like, well, I just wasted the 3 days. What do I do with this art gallery? But don't throw it away, because you might be able to use it later. But don't feel disappointed if they don't go there, and don't try and force them. I think I talk about this all the time. The table flipping, the story not going my way as a DM, so I get upset. The more you try and railroad them 9 out of 10 times, the more they're gonna resist. Even if 2 seconds ago they said, I don't have anything to do, I don't know what we're supposed to do, and you try and throw in the railroad, unconsciously, we don't like to be told what to do. So the illusion of us not having free will in the game is going to force us to react and try and push against that. So there are ways to railroad them without letting them feel railroaded. But also there are the secrets of, well, I can use this later, but I'm not going to be upset that they didn't go to my art gallery, because my art isn't wasted. I invested all this energy, and I might be able to use it again because I can just move it to another place. But I'm not going to force them to go there. I'm going to see where they kind of want to go. And then if they're starting to bog down and get to the dithering, getting to the 2 hours talking about a crowbar, getting to the, I don't know, what do you want to do? Getting to the, hey, what's a great way to get experiences? Kill some NPCs in the village. That's when you can try and hook them. That's when you can start the next action scene. You've got the downtime. Luke finds these robots. Luke loses a robot. Luke goes to get the robot. Luke meets crazy old man. But there's a lot of other things that could have happened in there. But then you get to the point where they're just sort of bogging down and things are getting quiet and they're losing the initiative. And you're like, okay, I don't want them to get to the point where I don't know, what do you want to do? But I don't want to railroad them and force them to go to my art gallery. What's the happy medium? Well, I got to listen to what they're saying. I got to see if there's some way I can hook them back in. And if it just seems utterly impossible that nothing you're doing is hooking them back into the story, well, you could either be like, hey guys, it feels like you're not into it. Maybe we should just take a break and, go grab some food or whatever, and then come back and we might have, re-energized ourselves. That's one thing. Take a break. And then, get up, get some fresh air, get some food, circulate the, a change of scenery might be all you need to percolate the ideas and percolate the players to suddenly remember, like, oh, hey, we were supposed to investigate that moat house that the lady said was haunted. Let's do that. Because, a change of scenery could spark them. So you could say, let's take a break. You could, hey guys, is this a good place to end the game? It feels like we're not really going anywhere. So why don't we just end it here? Give you guys a week to think about it, trade ideas through the Discord page or the Facebook page or the internet. Thank God for the internet and Discord pages and Facebook pages, because it makes communicating between each other in the game so much easier. And then come back a week later and then see if that's percolated in ideas and they're ready to start. And then you just hit them quick with some type of action, especially if that action is something they showed interest in. Or the third way, as a venerable DM once said, you can always just throw more orcs at them. When in doubt, just throw more orcs at them. That's not my first choice, but sometimes it's the most fun choice. Suddenly a bunch of stormtroopers walk in looking for those droids. They're in the bar, they're in the city, they're dithering down. You can't get them to show interest, but you still wanna. And it's like, well, I don't really want to do option 1. I don't really want to do option 2, so I'll just throw some thugs at them. It's not the best solution, but it's a way to get them back invested. Bottom line, you're gonna waste a lot of energy on creating something you think is amazing, and then you're gonna be in a situation where the players don't see it the way you do, and you're feeling like they don't appreciate it, or they don't even go there. You're just like, well, I just wasted a whole week designing this huge prop. Remember my garage prop story? And they never went there, and now I feel like they don't appreciate me. I feel like I wasted all that time for nothing. Wow, just screw them. And then you become antagonistic against them because they didn't appreciate all your work, or they don't see it the way you see it, or they don't even go there. Rather than, I can always save this for later and revisit it when it does seem like they're going to go there, and instead use something else to keep them interested in and keep them on the path and keep them with the illusion that they're going the way they want to go when really they're going the way you want to go. Remember, your greatest trick as a DM is you have complete control over what they encounter and when they encounter it. And you don't have to be stuck to a timeline. If they're supposed to go to room 3A to get the what's it and they never go to room 3A to get the what's it, don't get upset. Don't try and force them to go to room 3A to get the what's it. Just move the what's it to where they are going. Oh, Luke never goes to get the plans from the droid. They buy a different droid. The plans show up somewhere else. Some way or another, Luke gets involved in the situation. So there you go. That's what's going on with my DM tips for the day. I do have a editorial. I might or might not do it. Depends how much of a fight I want to get into. Inevitably, I'm sure there'll be some troll comments about this. You don't know what you're talking about, OGGM. Your way is wrong. Blah, 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 blah. And you're absolutely right. I don't know what I'm talking about. My way could be wrong. Whatever works for you, works for you. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. These are just ideas. Use them or ignore them. It's me blathering into the ether space, hoping at least one voice hears it. And if they hear it, they might appreciate it. And if they appreciate it, they might subscribe. Subscribe to my blog. Help me hit 1,000 subs by August 4th, and we'll do something crazy. Till next time, I have been your guide to all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, sports, general internet nonsense, and other things. Get out of my mega dungeon, you damn kids. See ya.